Come on in, everyone. Come on in. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I know it's been a couple of days since the episode aired, but it's the holidays. Officially, the holidays have begun. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. I hope everyone is happy and healthy. But you know, I had to recap and talk about the latest episode, the latest season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. By now, you may have seen the actual seating for their reunion, which was filmed on Tuesday, I think it was. I've got all my days mixed up. However, Monica Garcia, you know, the newest addition to the show, and as I've been calling her, the most valuable player, the MVP of the season, got a seat next to Andy. And I know some of you are like, why is it such a big deal who sits next to Andy? Well, Kenya Moore told you in her recent Carlos King interview that it's a position of power on the show. I always take it as, well, this person had the most intriguing, the most drama of the season. And Monica definitely did. So I would have been shocked. The fact that Heather Gay is right next to Andy as well, I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of feel like Lisa Barlow should have been there, but I'm okay with it. And I think next to Monica was Meredith, and was it Angie K? No. I think Angie was across the way. Maybe Whitney. I can't remember. Anyways, it doesn't even matter at this point. I think the reunion we saw that Meredith was following Monica, Mary Cosby is following Monica. I mean, that's all you need at this point. Monica has secured her next season on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't see why she would not return. Do you? All right. Let's start at the top of this, okay? Because I thought this is their definitely, not their best season of the last 4 seasons, but it's definitely better than last season. I was almost ready to check out of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but a lot of you have said that you, after the last season, you as well checked out, that it's boring, they need to cancel the show. But I was like, you can't just cancel a show after one bad season. However, this season, they have made up for it. Because I felt like season 1 and season 2 were stellar. Season 3, not so much. Season 4, we are back to where we started. Okay, which I appreciate. All right. So at the top of this episode, we have Heather FaceTiming with her daughter about her book party and what went down at the book party. Lisa Barlow. I didn't realize Lisa wrote that rap. No wonder it was corny. But it's okay. But she wants to plan a party, of course, to thank them. I feel like... I don't know. I feel like a lot of what's playing out on these Real Housewives shows, it's become so, we already know. It's already pre-produced. It's sort of like, okay, you just want to plan a party to get the women together. Can we not come up with something that makes it more believable? Heather, producers, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, she wants to gather the women together. All right. So she's talking about planning this party to thank the women for being a part of the book party and things like that. Monica. So the scene with Monica and her daughters was actually really heartfelt and touching. I thought that it was really sweet to see Monica. And I know some of you are like, oh, Monica's using her mom for a storyline. We got to get away from this, because literally we have this on the Real Housewives of New York where Uba was saying about Jessel. Isn't her family a part of her story? Isn't your family a part of your story? And her mom and what her mom did to her explains a lot of who Monica is today and what she's trying not to be to her own daughters. So I'm glad that we're getting Linda and all the things that are playing out. And I'm not going to report on all the things that Linda is saying on social media. Linda, you want to be a star. And I think there's a level of competition between her and Monica, more so on Linda's side. I don't think Monica's trying to compete with her mom. I think Monica wants a mom. And I said this already, I'm going to say it again. Monica, you have to meet your mom where she is today. She will never be the mother that you have created in your head, the one making cookies at home or, being that motherly figure. At this point, you have to meet her as an adult that wants fame or whatever. All right. So anyways, so that's, she's got to let that go, because I don't think Linda's ever going to change. All right. So apparently, according to Monica, after her dad left, her mom ended up destroying everything, every memory of him, to the point where Monica doesn't even remember what he looks like. I was like, damn, that's got to be rough. And it will explain maybe her issues with men and her relationship with men. I know some of you are like, that's no excuse. At some point, you got to be an adult. Well, can you tell that to your cousin? Can you tell it to your best friend that are doing the same thing? It's just not on a reality TV show. It's so easy for us to sit on our high horse and be like, girl, you need to get over it. Girl, you need to grow up and mature and make better decisions. Yes, but sometimes you have to go through this process of failure and figuring out, oh, I did this because I didn't grow up with a dad or because my mom did this. And then heal that. A lot of you are walking around here unhealed and blaming the world and taking out your trauma, your childhood trauma on all of us. Some of you are doing it in the comment section. Sorry. That was funny to me. Anyways, so one of the things that we find out, Monica's oldest daughter, her father, she was with, she said he went to work one day and Monica's daughter Brie was playing with like a pill bottle or something like that, and it was Oxy. And that's when she left her ex and ended up with the her other kid's father, the one that she cheated on. So her oldest daughter, the only father that she really has ever known is Monica's now ex-husband, not her biological father. So I thought that was interesting. There's still more of this onion that is Monica that we're peeling back and understanding. And she says she's giving her this book of memories and pictures to her daughter so that she doesn't grow up the way that she did without memories of who her father is. I wonder where the father is now. Is the father not in the child's life? Makes me wonder. And apparently, I think she said that her now ex-husband, but the newest one, adopted her oldest daughter. I thought this was sweet. I know some people look at Monica as, oh, woo woo woo, not woo woo woo. But I really do feel for Monica. And we also have to understand it is a reality show. They're asking her to share these stories. So sometimes that comes across to the audience as, oh, it feels so pre-produced. Or, no, she's telling her story. She's trying to share with us what she's gone through and been through. And she's also kind of rehashing it for the cameras. So she's also dealing with the emotions of something she probably kind of packed away and didn't deal with. I'm really using my psychology degree today. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way to support not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget to share the video. Again, happy Thanksgiving to those that celebrate. And for those that are watching internationally, I know you wanted some content today, so here you go. Here you go. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to double check that you are still subscribed. And just a reminder, there are some fake profiles out there pretending to be me here, telling you to call a WhatsApp number, telling you that you won something. It's not true. It's not true. Anything that we're doing here on the channel, we will let you know live. All right? All right. All right. Angie and Sean have lunch. It's like their first date in 2 years. As you know, their storyline this season is that they've sort of like lost their connection because, she has their daughter, they have the businesses. So we do have this awkward moment of them having a lunch or dinner together and they don't know what to talk about. They don't know what to talk about. She says she doesn't even know what music Sean likes currently. And he's like, I've always loved country music. I am not in their dynamic. And I know some of you are like, well, this makes me believe the rumors about Sean even more. I don't know about that, y'all. I think there are a lot of people, and we're seeing this on this cast as well. We saw it with Meredith and her husband. We saw it with Whitney and her husband. Things happen after you've been with someone for 30 years. It takes work for any relationship, be it a sexual relationship or a friendship. It takes work to maintain these friendships and relationships. So I can see where they had their kid, they're running multiple businesses. Sidebar, Angie, why didn't you have some sort of booth at BravoCon where you were doing people's hair, and not you personally, but maybe like your staff? I know it's expensive probably to do something like that, but that would have been great promo. Let me giving you ideas, but maybe next year, doing a little makeover in the Bravo Bazaar. Just saying, just an idea. But they're making a pledge to each other in this moment to spend more time with just themselves and not their daughter. And their daughter would be fine. If anything, and I learned this from watching Oprah years ago. So many people focus on their kids thinking that that's going to benefit the kids when they should be focusing on their relationship, because that actually benefits the child more. It's not like you're neglecting the child, but you're also making time and space and focusing on nourishing your relationship with your partner who was there before the kid. Just saying. Lisa Barlow, who drives into a rock. She ruined her Porsche. Oh my lord. Drove into a boulder. And Heather's like, I've got to move that. And she's like, yes, you do. Like, no, Lisa, you need to pay attention to how you're driving. That's probably pretty expensive to fix. I don't even know. Anyway, so Heather, she's forging this new friendship with Lisa Barlow. So she has all of Lisa Barlow's favorite things, candy, Wendy's, all this. And she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love that. So Lisa calls Jack's mission bougie, that he's going to be shopping and doing things like this. And this is why I appreciate Heather. She's like, the only time that Jack will have time to shop will be for groceries during his mission. I don't know what the mission is like. I know here in New York City, we always see the missions just preaching the word. I've never seen them relaxing and hanging out or getting into trouble. I'm sure that they maybe do. We need that story. Like, Heather, can you tell us about those days? Did you guys ever leave the mission? And when you're on this mission, it's just you guys. Are you checking in with anyone? Is anyone supervising you, or you're self-supervised? I never thought about that. Like, do you go to someone specifically in that area as a go-to person that's supervising, getting you updated on your mission? I never thought about that. Look, this is what I love about Salt Lake City that makes it so different than the other cities that we cover. There's just so many different, especially when it comes to Mormonism and that aspect. So Heather, she brings us back to reality on that. Okay, so apparently Heather hung out with Monica and they were discussing about her summers in Bermuda. So apparently and apparently there's a big Portuguese community in Bermuda, and she used to spend her summers in Bermuda, and she has family in Bermuda, so they're planning this big group trip. But Heather's like, you guys have to make peace in order for us to do this group trip, because Monica and Lisa do not see it for each other. Lisa says she doesn't need an apology from Monica, but she isn't interested because she's not interested. So she's like sort of done with Monica. So she doesn't need an apology from her. And I think for Lisa, she's like, I'm going to film. I don't care if she's there or not. I'm actually interested. Remember, this is like this is not like, this is their first international trip. because of locked up, they won't let me out. Inmate Shaw. So they couldn't travel. They couldn't go anywhere outside the United States. So now they'll be able to go to Bermuda. Maybe. We shall see. We shall see what happens. So Lisa and Monica just do not see it for each other. And I'm sure you've seen all the rumors that have been circulating about Monica allegedly stealing Lisa Barlow's $60,000 ring. I already told you my hesitance to even give that rumor any light. Very much like what Jeff Lewis tried to say about Monica at BravoCon in regards to her being on food stamps. Anyways, I thought this scene was cute. The Angie and Whitney, they grab lunch. This is not the scene I was talking about. I was actually thinking about the other Whitney scene. So Angie and Whitney grab lunch, and they're sharing the struggles that they're both having in their marriages. Whitney says that she wanted more and feels like there's a void in her marriage. She also says that the dynamics in her relationship with Justin is different now because she has multiple businesses. She's not a stay-at-home mom like she originally was. We also have to keep in mind, because she says something here that I was like, wait a minute. She says how hard it is to be in a monogamous relationship, and Justin doesn't like when she says that, because remember, these two cheated with each other. Part of the reason why they were, well, at least she was excommunicated from the church. Well, not excommunicated. I guess she was, but then she officially left the church when she signed that letter and everything. But remember, that's how they got together. And you know what y'all say. Look, what y'all say, how you get them is how you lose them. But apparently, he's all in. He's all faithful to Whitney, but can't say the same for herself. She says it's hard work being faithful. She doesn't believe in monogamy. But some people don't. Some people believe that, as human animal creatures, there's no such thing as monogamy. That's not necessarily true. What animal is it that is forever monogamous? I think that's like penguins or something like that. You guys will correct me in the live chat or in the comment section. But I believe that penguins, what other animals are like serially monogamous? I think penguins, like the penguins are like, once you're stuck with me, you're stuck with me. All right. So Angie's having her issues in her relationship, but so is Whitney. They're both sort of displaying that as their storyline this season. I actually do believe Whitney's. I know some people will say, and I've probably said this too at the top of the season, that this is just a storyline, but I kind of believe it, especially when she brings up the whole issue of monogamy. But I also believe that, yeah, the family dynamic is different. She was a stay at home mom for a long time. Now she's a reality star. They don't say that on here. She's a reality star. So she has a lot of attention everywhere she goes. She's also has multiple businesses. And now she wants a partner and someone that's going to help her do what she was already doing by herself. I mean, their dynamic has changed. Their dynamic has changed. Guys, are just joining us as always for our merch. We're going to have a Black Friday sale, so stay tuned for that. More of our merch and everything Kempire is available in the description of this video, or you can head on over to TheKempire.com. Houseofkempire.com will also give you our merch and anything else that's going on, like our CAMEO. It's the holiday season. If you want an anniversary, Christmas message, things like that, that's a great gift to give to someone that you love or to yourself. All right? All right. Meredith and Seth, as you know, have this podcast, and they invite Whitney and Justin. Whitney and Meredith were not in a good place, but they're trying. And I actually thought this was a cute scene. I'm actually kind of like, okay. Originally, I was not here for the podcast that Meredith and Seth were having because how I felt about Seth in this relationship. But I appreciated this last week with what Meredith shared about her relationship with Seth and that they were on the verge of divorce, and they did a post-nup. But I can appreciate Justin and Whitney sharing their story and how she's been there for Justin and how he's sort of been there for her, because we have to remember all the things, her what's going on with her father. We haven't heard anything about Whitney's father. Is he okay? At one point, they make a joke though when Whitney comes in. Can I see your bathtub? I talk so much crap about your bathtub. Can I see the bathtub? She said, I've been through so much, my personal finding out that I was abused, my father's own, drug issues and things like that. She was like, you know what? By now, I've probably been on my 7th marriage. I was like, well, I mean, I'm sure that's perspective. Like, Justin has stuck with her through that, but she's also stuck with Justin through a lot as well. All right. All right. They also talk about the craziest place they've ever had sex. Apparently, Whitney was caught. Well, not caught. She was in the office when the head of HR came in and she had to hide under the table. Is that why you lost your job, Justin? Just asking. Just asking. Anyways, but they do also talk about some of the hardest things that they both have gone through and how Justin wasn't there and she had to hold his dad's hand when he died. Like, they've been through some things, and that's where I sort of like changed my perspective on her storyline this season. I was like, well, I can see them actually having marriage issues because of how they got together and how their dynamics in their relationship has changed. I think that the dynamic of a reality show also changed her relationship with Heather. And I said this before, we don't talk enough about how this reality show can change a friendship. We always talk about the marriages and divorces. I also believe that the real friendships that are developed on the show or that were apart before the show are affected by the show. Fame is a drug that can interfere in relationships. All right. So Heather hosts the ladies for a pioneer lunch. A pioneer lunch, which I thought was cute. It's so typical Housewives. They're all wearing bonnets. Heather has them doing very traditional Mormon, things. She says, the month of April is. We know that Heather, it was a Stepford wife. She was the pinnacle of Mormonism. Okay. Here's where I find it hypocritical that Heather is hosting this, and I get it. She's hosting this because it's a reality show. But hear me out. She's literally going against Jack's mission, but now you want to celebrate Mormonism. And I know she says in the scene, well, there are some good things about Mormonism that I want to focus on. But for someone to write bad Mormon and then to make a part of your storyline in criticizing Lisa's son's journey in this situation, because now you're saying that there are positives about being Mormon. Before, a couple of weeks ago, you were talking about how it's a cult, and how he's perpetuating this cultish behavior. So having this pioneer lunch, although I can appreciate the comedy and the funny scenes that we get and the games that you play, it's just kind of hypocritical coming from you. Am I wrong? You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I just feel it is somewhat hypocritical. But I also feel like that's also Heather. Heather, although she feels like the bad Mormon, I feel also feels like she still wants to be a part of Mormonism. And the only reason why she's not a part was because they kicked her out. Because she got a divorce from her good husband. Good husband. All right. So they're playing all these different games. They're shaking the thing, and then they're, playing, going around the table, doing all these things. Leads to a fight between Monica and Lisa. As you know, they do not see it for each other, but Heather wants to bridge a gap so that they can announce the trip to Bermuda and all can be good. But Monica and Lisa go at it, back and forth, back and forth. Again, I don't even understand what they're mad about. It's another battle, and I know a lot of times we're talking about nonsensical housewives drama, but at the same time, I feel like we can more than not get to the bottom of why they don't like each other. We already know Monica called Lisa for being bougie and constantly talking about things, which some of you appreciate about Lisa. But for this to go on as long as they have, and then Lisa bringing up, she called her mother Teddy Bundy. She's like eating people's bodies, and then Whitney saying like, and I'm glad Whitney said it because I completely would have fell for it too. I was like, oh wait, you're right. Teddy Bundy wasn't the one that was eating bodies. That was Jeffrey Dahmer. All right. She's like, I can't. I think that this fight went on a lot longer, and I think a lot more was said because I know some people will say, well, Monica's reaction was over the top, her crying and saying she doesn't want to go to Bermuda. I feel like more was said, especially when you see Lisa come over apologizing or at least trying to make things good with Monica. I feel like a lot was cut out. Sidebar. Damn it, why didn't we have Mary Cosby? I know she doesn't want to be around the group, but someone should have really rolled Mary Cosby out. Can you imagine Mary Cosby in a bonnet interacting with people? The side commentary that we could have got from Mary Cosby? Damn it, Mary, I need you to engage a little bit more. Just a little bit more, because we missed you from this conversation. Just saying. So there's a lot of like squawking and the hackling hags. Hey Jessel. That happens at this table, but Monica is so emotional. She's like, I don't know if I should even go. Let me tell you something about Heather Gay though. Because Heather Gay, and I don't know if it's from growing up in the Mormon religion, but it also reminded me of what Leah McSweeney said to Heather during Ultimate Girls Trip when Heather's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you drunk." I feel like Heather's a little dangerous. There was a little. Go back and watch that scene. The fact that Heather was sort of like gaslighting Monica. She's just like, "Oh, I feel like you were." I feel like, first of all, I feel like you guys were going back and forth, which they were. But then as they went back to the table, I felt like Heather was really gaslighting Monica and be like, "Well, you were the one, coming at Lisa," and I was just like, I mean, maybe I need to rewatch the scene, which is fine. Everyone will have a different perception of the scene. And I don't feel like anyone was necessarily innocent in the back and forth between Monica and Lisa. But also, Monica, we have to keep in mind, Monica is the youngest of this group. These are older women. We already told you at BravoCon, it felt like they were icing her out. And now it feels like at this table, which we're seeing an edited scene. I gotta remind you guys, we're seeing an edited scene. It does feel like no one has Monica's back at this table. And she's probably like, I don't want to go on a trip on multiple days where everyone's coming at me, where no one has my back, where no one is supporting me. Because it's going to be triggering to her. Literally her mom. All right. So, but go take a look back at that scene. I'm looking at Heather very differently, like almost like sadistic, like gaslighting Monica in this conversation and in this argument. I mean, maybe I need to rewatch it again, but no, I just felt like I'm looking at Heather. I'm like, I'm getting the feeling like Heather is really, and I think this is when Heather decided, because I know Heather knew that Monica was the one that didn't pay that bill, but she probably was sitting on it before she decided, like, oh, I'm going to use this against her. and then give us this whole dramatic scene during this trip. I think that's what she's going to do. Here's the thing, though. I wouldn't be surprised because Heather also was making this big deal of the black eye, saying one thing, then saying another. Like, ever since the black eye, I always give Heather the side eye or the sigh eye, because I feel as if I was like, you could have just shut down that whole. We all had all kinds of conspiracy theories, and we never got to the bottom of how Heather got that black eye. We never got to the bottom of it, and at this point, I don't care, obviously. But I also look at her a little sadistic. I always look at her a little, especially the way she was talking to Monica. I was like, Heather, what is really going on here? And probably the reason why Heather got that position next to Andy was because of the lawsuit between them. That's probably the only reason, because of the drama that ensues once we find out that Monica has this lawsuit against her from Heather, and then she's countersuing her. Which, again, I don't believe Monica will win. But I don't think Heather's innocent. I've already told you, like, the hypocrisy of Heather Gay. Hypocritical Heather. Just saying. But it was a good scene. Look. It was a good scene. It was definitely a good scene. How are you guys feeling about the current season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? How would you rate this episode? I probably would rate this episode an 8.5. I'm not going to give it a 9. I thought it was a solid episode. I'm ready to get to the bottom of that preview that they've given us. And now that they filmed the reunion, we only have a couple of more episodes. I can't imagine how many more episodes that we have this season. Remember that season? It was season 2, where we had like 30 episodes of Salt Lake City, which I was so shocked about. I was like, why do we have 30 episodes this season? It wasn't literally 30. I'm being dramatic. But it was a long season. Not last season. They wrapped up last season real quick. Real quick. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Also, don't forget, it is time, Black Friday sales are happening. So stay tuned, stay locked to our community on the community tab so that you can see the discount code for Black Friday. Probably Black Friday. So stay tuned for that. HouseofKempire.com for all of our merch ideas. And of course, Coldest is still a sponsor here. Don't forget to use the discount code the discount code for Coldest, Kempire10 for 10% off of your order. More information will be available in the description of this video. Shout out to our King's Guards, our Royal Court members, and our Senior Royals for being members of the channel. To become a member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And of course, we could not do this without our King's Guards. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down in the comment section, but also in the live chat. As you know, when I'm away, it's hard to create content because technical stuff and things like that. But I'm still trying. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, including our short form platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and of course here on Shorts. I will be posting our Spanish versions on Kempire Shorts YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to that, and shout out to our Spanish speaking community. We appreciate you guys as well. We're trying to get all our bases. We're trying to get all our bases here. Anyway, the holiday season begins, as you can already tell. This is a live Christmas tree. Love it. Love it. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Have a wonderful rest of your Thanksgiving. I will see you all in the next recap. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We also have Real Housewives of Miami. So stay tuned for that. All that. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on. I will see you all then. Bye, y'all. Da 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 da.
You bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll ask you, follow my lead, just watch the shoes.